Hey everybody, I'm E. Brian Rose along with my partner Brian Zimmerman. What's up, Mr. Z?
What's going on, Mr. EBR?
All right, we got a great one for you tonight. We're bringing Birttany Lynch back. She is an ex-Googler, as you know. That means she worked at Google. They have little pet names for their employees there, and she she is a traffic generating expert, and she's going to share some of those expert tips with us tonight in this free-for-all traffic generation training session. So, Birttany Lynch, what's up, babe?
Hey, thanks for having me here.
Awesome. Thank you for being with us. What are you going to teach us tonight? I'm sorry.
First, I need to make fun of Brian for not knowing where Nova Scotia is. I mean, that's where my cottage is. Come on.
I'm sorry. No, Nova Scotia sounded to me like it was over there by Austria and Switzerland and all that other stuff. And you know what's scarier than that? I was a military brat, so I've been all around the world, but I've never been to Canada, and I had no idea Nova Scotia was there. So
Well,
you know,
they have the best lobster in the world there, so you're going to have to go sometime.
Oh, are you kidding me? Birttany, you're talking to a guy that was born and raised in New England.
Look,
here comes the New England stuff again.
You're going to tell me that Nova Scotia lobster is better than Massachusetts or Maine lobster. Okay, we're not going to go there. Hey, I'll tell you what, let's talk about something safe like traffic generation. All right, we're not going to argue about that.
All right, well, yeah, I've got some really exciting stuff that I'm going to be talking about today. As Brian and Brian said today, I haven't shared this webinar with anyone else except for a really small group from my mailing list, kind of my inner circle group. So it's really exciting because, oops, sorry about that, guys. Because I've got some good stuff. So I'll just kind of go over a little bit of a brief introduction. For everyone who doesn't know me, as Brian said, I worked at Google in their AdWords department, and so my job there was to build out and optimize my ad campaign. So I'll go over a little bit of an introduction of who I am, just to set the framework for this call. And after that, I'll talk about a little bit about what I've been up to in the last few weeks and what I'm going to be up to in the next month. I'm going to be starting this really fun experiment that I'm going to be telling you about. And then I'll talk a little bit about my favorite way, my #1 favorite way to make money online, and I'll explain that to you, as well as my favorite traffic sources. So there's 3 traffic sources I'll talk about today. And then from there, really, I'll open up the floor for Q&A. So I want to talk about that, get all of that stuff out of the way up front so that it gives you some good ideas for the types of questions you're going to ask me. I mean, I really kind of want to be very open and very transparent on the call today. So honestly, any question that you have about internet marketing, about list building, but especially about traffic generation, definitely write it down. Type it in the question box because it's an open, traffic generation free-for-all today. So ask any question, and I'm here to answer it for you. So with that said, I'll kind of just give you a little bit of a background here. You can see a picture of me. This was back in 2009 when I worked at Google in the AdWords department. This is in the Toronto office. Did my training in Mountain View and New York. Really cool campuses, by the way. There was like 30 restaurants that you got the most amazing food for when you worked at Google, and Xbox and all the games you can think of. But a really good company to work for. I worked in their AdWords department, so my job was to build out and optimize ad campaigns for Fortune 50 companies and get them the absolute best return on investment. So that all came down to getting really, really low cost per click, as well as getting them a good conversion rate. So that really built the foundation of my expertise in AdWords. And then since leaving Google, I've become an expert in using Facebook advertising, media buys, Tier 2 networks, PPV. So really, all forms of traffic are on the table today. But there's 3 in particular that I want to talk about, and I think I've got some really exciting just news to share on Google AdWords in general. So that's a little bit about who I am for everyone who doesn't know me, although I see a lot of familiar names on the call today. So I think quite a few of you have maybe heard one of my webinars before. So that's.
I love that picture, by the way. That's my favorite picture of you. I'm trying to picture what is that a loft you're in, or is that just a room in like an apartment?
No, it's a massive, that's the Google offices.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
and Google can't afford cubicles, so everybody gets a beanbag.
No, you don't even understand how awesome that office was. This is in downtown Toronto looking over Dundas Square. I saw a few Canadians on the call today. And so, I mean, obviously you can tell by my outfit that, it was very, very casual dress. I was just wearing jeans and a top. And it was always freezing in the office, but tons of beanbags, massage chairs, like a restaurant, and, it was the best place in the world. If I wanted to work for someone else, I would continue working for Google. But that's why I actually left Google, Brian, was because I wanted to work for myself. I was making good money, but I was working way too much. And I'm sure many of you can relate to that. You're working too hard. You might be making decent money, but you don't have any time to enjoy it. And so really what I want to talk about today is how I kind of left that position, which a lot of my friends and family thought I was crazy to do, and how I now managed to make over $40,000 a month online in profit using paid traffic. So I definitely enjoy a much better lifestyle now. I mean, I was talking to you earlier before the call, Brian, about how I'm going traveling next month. So I'll talk about that in just a second. But I love to travel, as you know. I just got back from New Zealand, went skydiving there. So I just have a much better lifestyle now.
Yeah, it definitely is a freer world once you're self-employed and working for yourself and don't have an office to go to in the morning, and you can take off, and especially when you do what we do online, where we can set everything up to where it's not, I don't like to say it's automated, because everything we do requires work, but it's automated enough to where if we want to take even a week off, we can set everything to go out. Our emails go out on time. Our customer service is handled. Everything's kind of got that temporary automation to it, so it allows us the freedom to travel and do things. And I love to travel myself, so I can definitely back you up with that statement.
Yeah, and actually, I'll tell you a fun little experiment I'm doing in just a second. But first, I kind of want to tell everyone what I've been up to. Again, this is about me sharing some of the little internet marketing hacks that I've discovered that have just made my life a lot easier. So this is really for anyone, whether you're a complete newbie to internet marketing or advanced internet marketing. First things first is I just kind of want to let you know about a really great time-saving tip. Podio, Podio.com. I just discovered it a few days ago, and I've been searching for a really good time management tool, and I'm sure, again, many of you can relate to time management being an issue, especially with internet marketing, delegating tasks and that sort of thing. And Podio is almost like Facebook. It's set up like Facebook, but it's for time management and just managing all of your tasks and getting everything done. So I thought I'd just share that with you guys just as kind of an example of one of the tools that I use. That it's free. I just thought you might want to check it out. It's really, really cool. So the fun little experiment that I was going to tell you about, Brian, speaking to traveling a lot, is I'm going for a month-long trip to Asia, August 10th to September 10th. I'm going to Thailand for a week, and I'm going to do a Muay Thai boot camp with my younger brother. We're going to do that for a week, and then I'm going to Komodo Island in Indonesia for a week to visit my mom. And then I'm going to Bali for 2 weeks for a wedding and an international school reunion, because I actually grew up there. So I'm actually going traveling for an entire month. Which I'm really looking forward to. So what I kind of decided to do was I decided to do a fun little experiment. So one of my fun little experiments I'm going to do while I'm gone is I'm going to make an AdWords campaign this Sunday before I go. I'm leaving next week, so this Sunday I'm going to make an AdWords campaign before I go in a brand new niche, set up a brand new landing page, everything. And my goal is to make $10,000 in as passive income as possible while I'm gone. My suspicions is I'm going to spend 3 hours building up this campaign on Sunday. The following Sunday, I'll spend 3 hours optimizing it, and then every few days I'll check in on it. But it's going to be incredibly passive. So for the month that I'm gone, I'll probably work 2 to 4 hours on it entirely, and my goal is to make $10,000 in profit using AdWords. So AdWords it's really cool, because AdWords has made a lot of great changes lately. I mean, the internet marketing community for a little while was really reluctant to use AdWords, but they've really made leaps and bounds and strides in terms of how they're dealing with their customers. Actually, AdWords, for those of you who use AdWords or are interested in using AdWords, something that you might be interested to know is that AdWords actually has a direct phone number you can call now. So when you set up an AdWords campaign, they send you an email with a phone number, and I tested it out the other day. I called in. I got an American Google employee who worked at Ann Arbor, at the Ann Arbor campus, on the phone within 2 minutes, which I think is pretty incredible.
Which is much better than the Canadian Google employees.
Oh, hey. Look, that's a lobster situation here, okay?
Isn't Nova Scotia in there?
If you're going to say you have the best lobster,
Isn't Nova Scotia in Canada?
In Canada?
I'm only kidding.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, that's a really great addition to AdWords, because in the past, people have had issues with their campaign, and they haven't been able to reach into on the phone. So I really want
they used to have a telephone number, and I remember calling and speaking to my guy on the phone. I had, there was a guy that I talked to many times. I had his direct extension, and then all of a sudden, when I tried to call him again, it's funny. When I was spending like barely any money with AdWords, I could call this guy anytime I wanted. Then I launched a massive campaign. I was spending about $1,000 a day in Google AdWords spends, and all of a sudden the phone number disappeared, and it was just a recording that said, click the support button in your AdWords account. And I couldn't believe it.
Was that back in like 2007 sort of time frame?
That was 2008.
2008, yeah. So, I mean, I'm still in very good relationships with all of my friends at Google who still work there, and I've been talking to them a lot lately about building better relationships with internet marketers in general. And so this is a new hotline that they're planning on keeping indefinitely. They've really been working a lot on their customer support, and it's become so much better. I mean, I can't tell you how helpful it was. I called because my campaign went under review, and I just said, hey, I want to make sure everything's okay. Are we good? And he's like, yeah, totally, you're fine. It'll be up tomorrow. And so it's just a really good, it's just a nice, safe kind of thing to have in your mind to know that you can call someone. So I thought I'd mention that just because AdWords, you can get incredibly cost-effective traffic. I mean, it's still my favorite traffic source, and you can still get penny traffic. And I'll talk about that a little later in the call, but again, if you have any questions about this, just write it down, because I know, without a doubt that I can set up this campaign and make this brand new campaign on Sunday and make $10,000 as passively as possible while I'm on vacation. And it's cool because I'm going to be starting this new lifestyle blog, and I'm going to be filming videos while I'm in Thailand, while I'm in Indonesia, while I'm in Hong Kong, and I'll be just kind of keeping track on the videos of how much money I'm making while I'm in Hong Kong, or while I'm in Bali, sipping tropical drinks on the beach, sort of thing. So it's going to be really cool. So that's my fun little experiment that I'm doing there. And again, feel free to ask me questions on that.
Hey, you know what? I just want to interrupt you because I think we sometimes take for granted that people know exactly what we're talking about. And Nancy just asked, can you explain briefly what AdWords is? So let's do that in 30 seconds or less. Let's explain what AdWords is for those that might be on the call that don't know what it is.
Sure, that's actually a very good question. I'm sorry, I should have cleared that up. I'll actually show you an example of what AdWords is right here. So if you type in hotel, travel, and you search Google, so what comes up are these ads. So at the very top, you can see this yellow bar. This is an ad. On the right-hand side, you can see 3 ads. This is what AdWords are. So what you would do is you would bid on keywords like weight loss, and you can see all these keywords that pop up, right? Very, very competitive niche. And so what happens is I bid on this keyword weight loss, and someone clicks on this link. Every time someone clicks on this link and lands on my website, that cost me, 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents, whatever it costs me. So it's essentially pay-per-click. You pay people to come to your website by advertising your ads. So every time someone clicks on one of your ads, they come to your website and you pay a certain amount. So
see that, Nancy? Because you asked that question, that poor person at AdvantageLaserClinic.com just got charged a click for that demonstration.
Well,
yeah, and for that keyword, I guarantee you it's more than 30 cents.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll see about that. I've got some. I'm actually running some weight loss campaigns right now, and so they're my competitor that I've been working, mediumly hard to beat out, and I've done a really good job getting, clicks under 10 cents. So in the weight loss niche, I'll show you some proof later on in the call.
That's huge.
That is.
I do want to see that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Of course you do. Why wouldn't you want to see my secrets? Alrighty. So, okay, yeah, so that's my fun little experiment, and then towards the end of the call, if you're interested in actually watching me do that live, actually watch me live build out that AdWords campaign that's going to make me $10,000 in passive income while I'm on vacation, then I'll give you some information on how you can do that. So that's what I've been up to. So let's get right on to, how you can go about doing the things that I'm doing. So let's get down to it. It's really, really simple at the end of the day. And again, ask questions if you have them along the way. And there's going to be a portion where I'm going to answer these questions. But my favorite money-making method online, very, very straightforward. I send traffic. So traffic would be sources like AdWords, SEO, Facebook advertising. I send visitors to a squeeze page, a page that actually collects opt-in. So when someone lands on this page, they'll actually enter in their name and email address, and then that will build my mailing list, okay? So my big goal is building my mailing list. My mailing list is a big asset. No matter what niche I go into, no matter what traffic source I use, I always want to build my mailing list. That's my main goal. And then once I've got that mailing list, I send emails to that mailing list that include links to sales pages, whether it's affiliate offers or my own offers or webinars. So it's pretty straightforward. Does that make sense to you? You send traffic to a squeeze page. Your squeeze page helps build your mailing list, and then you send emails to your mailing list, and that sends you direct the traffic to the sales page and so on.
And those that don't know what a squeeze page is, it's a page that really there's nowhere else to go. It's got some information, maybe a video or something, and there's nowhere else to go except by putting your name and email address in there. What you're seeing right there, there you go, sell your soap. That's a squeeze page. There's really nothing else to do on that website except click on, put your email address in there.
Yeah, so this is actually an example of one of my squeeze pages that's actually designed for AdWords. So this is a very specifically designed AdWords. It's a WordPress theme that I actually built for myself because I use so much AdWords. It's a landing page designed specifically for AdWords, and yeah, it's on soap making. But this is an example of a squeeze page. So I actually send my AdWords traffic here. People opt in their email address, and then that builds my mailing list, and then I send them emails on how to make soap. Which are basically products on soap making or affiliate offers, and then that's how I make money. Okay, so very, very straightforward. Just to give you an example of the power of this, and to remember that, if you want to quit your job, you don't want to be sending your traffic to sales pages directly or to review sites directly. You want to build your mailing list because that's a long-term asset, okay? You don't want to make $10,000 today and then not make any money the next day or the next month. I want this AdWords campaign that I'm going to be building, this fun little experiment, I want to make $10,000 in 30 days. And $10,000 profit in the next 30 days, but I want to make $10,000 profit the next month and the next month and the next month, and then eventually more and more and more, because I'm building an asset, and the more I build my mailing list with this traffic, the more money I'm going to make. So it's a little bit different, this strategy, than a lot of other strategies that people are teaching. So just to kind of give you an example of some numbers, I started out in one of these particular niches with a list size of 0, and I grew my list to 500. It cost me $375 using paid traffic, and that was very expensive, to be honest. But I profited in 30 days $4,200. So in 30 days, I profited $4,200 from a list size of just 500. And I think that's important to point out because a lot of people think that you need thousands of people on your mailing list to make money, and that's
no way. Yeah, no way. That's a great return on investment right there, and very believable. For people that are shaking their heads saying, no, that can't be done, absolutely can be done, and it's done every day by successful marketers in this very way. Whether they spend the money on pay-per-click or solo ads or whatever, you spend the money, and you get a great return on investment if you spent the money properly. The problem that most internet marketer people have that just can't grasp it is they say, oh, I don't want to spend any money, I want to do it all for free, but they don't look at a great return on investment potential that is just 30 days away. Look at you made $4,200. How long do you think it took you to recoup your initial $375 investment?
It took me under a week to do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, my whole strategy is email marketing is very, very important. When you're using paid traffic, you need to have an email follow-up. That's where you make your money. That's where you make your return. As long as you're getting someone onto your mailing list, if you do it properly, there's no way you can't make a return because you have them on your mailing list. Now you can build a relationship with them. And that's what those emails are all about. I have a series of 12 emails that go out whether I'm awake or not, whether I'm sick or not, whether I'm on vacation or not. It goes in my autoresponder series. They go out day after day, and the job of those 12 emails is essentially to build a relationship of trust, introduce myself, and to sell my product, give me a return on investment as well as a profit. And so that's why with only 500 people, I'm able to make $4,200 profit in 30 days. And actually, guess what? In the next 30 days, I'm going to be able to make even more money than that from those initial 500 people because they trust me even more. And it's all about making sure that you never promote products in your email list that you don't truly believe in, really providing value. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. I'm providing value to my subscribers, okay? If I didn't do that, they wouldn't trust me. They wouldn't want to buy from me, so it's very mutually beneficial. If you think about it that way, and that's very important, a lot of people say, I've got trouble writing emails, and it's because so many marketers say, well, you're going to sell in your emails, but then, you go to write your emails and you're thinking, okay, well, I just have to sell in this email. But that's not what I think about. I often just think, okay, I need to write an email. I think about my best friend, and I'll write that email as if I'm talking out loud to my best friend, and I'll make it very relatable, and I'll make it into stories, and then really just go out of your way to provide value. And if you provide value on whatever niche you go into, you're going to be able to see that sort of return on investment. I'm sure does that make sense to everyone?
Absolutely.
Great.
Without question. And somebody just typed in the box. They said, so basically, paid traffic, squeeze page, mailing list, offers. That's the key to every niche. And absolutely, that is a proven way to make lots of money, and you can do it niche after niche after niche.
And it's so funny because I don't know. I mean, I really don't know what happens these days, but I feel like a lot of marketers complicate the money-making process. And I mean, I'm a little biased because my mom's a teacher, and so she's very big on, making sure that you're not just throwing information at people, but you're teaching it in a very systematic way. But it really is that simple. If you break it down, traffic, squeeze page, mailing list, send offers. It's that simple. So then you just break down the components. Okay, so how do I get traffic? What sort of traffic sources am I going to use? How do I build my squeeze page? Okay, now I need to build my email follow-up series. So it's just systemizing everything, breaking it down into small, approachable components. Okay. So go ahead. Were you going to say something, Brian?
Yeah, I was just going to say, and again, I say, you still get questions like, will this work for any niche? Yes, it will work for any niche. And I'm reading that right there. Will this work for any niche? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And one thing I just want to address, a lot of people have typed in, I thought Google AdWords didn't like squeeze pages. And that's the case if it's just a plain squeeze page. You have to design your squeeze pages for AdWords differently than you would for other traffic methods, like if you were buying solo ads. And you have to actually have content on it. So you only saw the top portion of Birttany's squeeze page that she uses in her AdWords campaigns for the soap. But if she had scrolled down, I guarantee you'd see a lot of information down there. Go ahead and scroll down there. I bet I'm right. Blog posts, right below it.
There you go, see?
That's how to keep Google AdWords happy.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know how to build my AdWords campaigns. I'm not just throwing up a squeeze page. The whole thing is, if you're going to use paid traffic, get educated. Learn how to use it before you do it. A lot of people just say, okay, well, I'm going to go pay for traffic. They open up an AdWords account. They throw random stuff in there, and they don't really investigate how to use it properly beforehand. And had you just, taken a few courses or, investigated, read a few blogs or what have you beforehand, you would have saved a lot of money. I mean, this type of landing page has made me so much money. Like I said, I custom programmed this WordPress theme. It's I don't sell or anything. It's just something that I built for myself, and it works really well. So you can kind of see that it's designed exactly for AdWords, because AdWords is very big on blog content. And guys, this works for internet marketing niches. This works for the weight loss niche. I literally mean it works for any niche. Okay, as long as you're following my rules. So you can see I'm clicking on a blog post now, and I'll show you what happens. So here you go. My squeeze page is still on the right-hand side, but there's a very lengthy blog post here. So that's just something to keep in mind there. Alrighty.
And if you do your squeeze pages like that, AdWords will not have a problem with you.
No. I mean, I consistently make, thousands of dollars every month from AdWords. I'm going to make $10,000 from them from one campaign that I'm building on this upcoming Sunday. Like I said, I'm building an ad campaign, and I know that without a doubt, because I've got my system down right, that I'm going to make $10,000 profit while I'm traveling on vacation. Trust me, AdWords still works. And by all means, ask me as many questions as you want. We're going to come to Q&A time in just a second. But, I mean, with that said, it is very important to have a portfolio of traffic resources. You want to have lots of traffic sources on your hand, because if you're using Facebook advertising and SEO and all of those traffic sources, and your SEO isn't working, you're waiting around, you're not getting any traffic, then you need to rely on other traffic sources like Facebook advertising. Or if Facebook advertising is too expensive, then you need to know how to use AdWords so that you can use them. So you need to know how to use lots of different traffic sources. Starting point is learn how to know one, learn how to do one, really learn that, get good at it, and then move on to the next one. But I just want you to keep this in mind. Don't rely on just one traffic source. And if you really want to do well, and I mean really well, like tens of thousands of dollars every month, you need to know how to use these several traffic sources. And I really, really encourage you to start thinking about so-called paid traffic. And with that, I kind of want to walk you through. A lot of marketers tell you, use free traffic, which is, SEO. But think about how much time you put into SEO. Think about how much time.
And it's hit or miss. You could spend weeks and developing an SEO campaign for your website, and then spend another few weeks waiting to see if it kicks in, and then you won't know. You're 6 weeks out, and you don't know if it works at all or not. On the flip side, pay-per-click traffic, you know if your campaign works on the first day, in the first hours. When your traffic starts coming in, if your squeeze page is not converting, if your sales page is not converting, make some changes. Pause your campaign, make the changes, start it back up again.
Exactly. So you can test a lot faster with that traffic, and it's targeted. It's incredibly targeted. You can target by demographic. You can target by keyword. And I'm going to show you a little bit of that in just a second. But you really need to know, all of the big internet marketers who are really banking a lot of money every month are using paid traffic. If you look on Facebook, you see Frank Kern's ads everywhere, okay? He's using paid traffic. They're afraid to teach you about that, and I really don't know why, but it works. And every big marketer who really has made it big, any big business, knows that you need to pay for advertising in order to have a reliable, scalable business. And it doesn't.
I think it's hilarious when you have like an SEO expert who's selling courses, course after course about SEO and how to search engine optimize your sites, and they're known as like the big SEO gurus. And how did you find them? Through pay-per-click.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They're advertising their SEO ebooks with pay-per-click. That's so funny. But it just proves, think about how many ads are out there. Coca-Cola didn't get to where it is because they were afraid to spend money on advertising. So you need to really think in the long term too. And it's very scalable, and it's very quick return on investment. In as little as 4 days using my system that I use, I can get a return on my investment, start making a profit. And I have a few on-demand traffic sources that work really well for me in any niche. So I'll kind of just address those. I'll address those, and we'll get into some Q&A. So first one's first is Facebook. I use Facebook a lot. I use media buys, and I use AdWords. Those are my 3 go-to traffic sources. I use about 8 traffic sources in general, but I'll talk kind of briefly about these three today. Let's talk about Facebook advertising. So with Facebook advertising, I'll talk about the pros. It's very, very easy to set up. So you can see the interface on the right side of the screen. You literally just enter in your campaign name, throw in some ad copy, enter the country that you want to target. There's obviously some advanced targeting as well, but it's a very simple interface, which is really cool, especially for someone who's a little bit new. And they've got advanced demographic targeting. So, for example, if you're advertising a weight loss product for pregnant people or people who just had babies, who do you think you're going to target? Probably you're going to target women between the age of 24 and 34. You want to do research on that, but you know your demographics, so you can target them exactly. So that's pretty cool about Facebook advertising. I like that. Some of the cons is the quality of traffic isn't always as great. It really depends on the strategy that you're using with Facebook advertising. Again, with any traffic source, you need to really take some time to really investigate how to use it and think out the best strategy. I make thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on Facebook every month, but you really need to know how to approach it. So sometimes the quality of traffic isn't always as great. So what I mean by that, if someone clicks on an ad, they're not really a buyer. They're often a free seeker. And it can be difficult to get someone to buy right away. Also, again, if you don't really know what you're doing, the cost per click can be quite a bit high. I know that you often see these ads for like 1-cent clicks on Facebook, and it's definitely possible, but it's hard to do. I actually find it harder to do on Facebook than on AdWords. Let's see, media buys. How many of you have heard of media buys before?
Oh, yeah, it's when you're buying basically media, for whether it be radio ads or media buys, television ads or media buys, banner ads or media buys.
Exactly. So it's just like when there's ads in newspapers or on TV, exactly like Brian said, those are media buys. But this is the online version, so I do a lot of online media buys. And a media buy is when you're buying advertising, space on a website like banner ads. This is what I'm referring to here. Of course, it also refers to radio ads and TV ads and all of that, but I'm specifically talking about space on a website like banner ads. Okay. Some of the pros is you get very, very cheap traffic. It's really, really cheap traffic. I love media buys, but it's not really the best traffic source to start with as kind of a beginner in paid traffic. It's a little bit hard to manage unless you're using a third-party network like the Google Display Network. That's actually a media buy network. A lot of people don't associate Google with media buys, but that's essentially what it is the Google Content Network is essentially a third-party ad network for buying media. Okay, so it's really cool. I mean, if you are...
And it's also the key to 1-cent clicks, too.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's what I'll talk about today. I mean, you can get 1-cent clicks, you can get 10-cent clicks. You can get very, very cheap clicks still, through media buys and through the Google Content Network. I use that all the time. The Google Content Network is my favorite traffic source, and then after that would be media buys, and then after that would be Facebook. The Google Ad Planner tool is a pretty cool source for finding media buys. You can go to Google. I forget what just Google Ad Planner. I think it's like adplanner.google.com. But you can actually you can drive traffic this way. So you can find websites that would be good to advertise on. So you can go by search by audience and then target who you want to target based on country, demographic, interests, and all that stuff. So that's kind of just a top-level overview. Maybe you want to write down Google Ad Planner. You can go do some more research on your own. But that's a really cool tool that I use. It's made me like well over $100,000. The Google Ad Planner tool. It's awesome. But I would say that probably you don't want to start with media buys, at least unless you're going through the Google Content Network. I would say start with the Google Content Network, but don't start with independent media buys like this. But I wanted to make you aware of it. AdWords. So some of the pros about AdWords is it's definitely the highest volume of traffic you can get. So you can get traffic right away and ton of traffic. Literally, the sky is the limit in terms of traffic. I mean, you can get thousands of clicks a day if that's what you want. And it doesn't have to cost that much. Incredibly targeted traffic. So by that I mean, you can bid on keywords like weight loss and have people actually looking for weight loss come to your website. Rather than with SEO, sometimes you don't know who's landing on your website. Same thing with Facebook advertising. It's not as targeted, okay? And you get really high conversions with AdWords. And that all comes down to what Brian was saying earlier was two important things of making money online is getting traffic and getting those conversions. So that's what AdWords is very good for. They've got a really great reporting system. You can track everything that I'll show you in just a second. And you can get very cheap traffic in any niche if you know how to use it. And again, feel free to ask me any questions you want about AdWords because I think especially in the last few months, it's always been a good traffic source, but again, it's just reaffirmed me that it's the best traffic source out there for getting targeted traffic, for getting cheap traffic, and for using it in any niche. But of course, you need to know how to set up your landing page and all of that. Some of the cons, if you don't know what type of landing page to use, you can get slapped, but only if you don't know what to do. I've never been slapped, and I've worked in all sorts of niches, including weight loss, including internet marketing, including all these so-called niches that you can't use AdWords for. And yeah, I put squeeze pages on them. So I know what I'm doing, so I'm not getting slapped, but those people who are going to use AdWords and don't know what they're doing are getting slapped because they're not following the rules. And then if you don't know how to build out your campaign, your traffic can be expensive. So again, like anything, if you don't learn how to do it first, your traffic's going to be a little bit more expensive. And that's true, and that's why you get those people who are saying, well, isn't AdWords $2 a click or $3 a click? And it's absolutely not. I mean, it can be, but especially using the Google Display Network, it's not. And I'll show you an example of a campaign that I'm running right now, actually. Weight loss. So my campaign's a weight loss campaign. You can see it's on July 26, 2011 I started it. I've had 958 clicks, and look at this. Look at the average cost per click. Can you read that, Brian? Hello?
I was muted there, sorry. 8 cents Canadian. Very impressive. I want to know how you're doing that. And is this through the display network?
Yeah, it's absolutely through the
Okay,
display
right.
network.
Okay.
So you can see that I've only spent $77 in the last what is it, the 28th today? Is it 28th today? So it's the last 3 days I've gotten almost 1,000 clicks for the average cost per click of 8 cents in the weight loss niche, which is one of the most competitive niches out there, and it's only cost me $77.58. So that's
it's amazing why that more people don't use the display network.
Oh, yeah, and it's really not that hard. I mean, like I said again, on Sunday I'm building up this AdWords campaign that's going to make me $10,000 in profit over the next 30 days. I'm going to be using primarily, probably 90% of my traffic is going to come from the display network, and I'm going to see cost per clicks around that 8 cent mark, often quite a lot lower. I'm not going to be paying anything more than 10 cents using the Google Display Network. So as long as you know what you're doing, you can get ridiculously cheap traffic with AdWords. I mean, it pays for itself. It's insane. If you can get traffic that cheap, do you think I'm going to be wasting my time on search engine optimization? Hell no. There's just not a chance that, I mean, honestly, Brian, it makes me cringe thinking about backlinks and commenting on blogs to build SEO. I mean, that stuff, it's just too slow for me. I'd rather make money in 4 days rather than wait around and, who knows when I'm going to make money.
Birttany, I spend absolutely zero time on SEO. I don't do anything with SEO. People ask me all the time, oh, your page isn't optimized. You're supposed to be this guy that's teaching people how to make money online, but your page isn't even optimized. Optimized for what? That page that you're talking about just made $8,000 last month. You don't need SEO optimization to make money online.
And, I mean, you can send all the so-called free traffic or SEO to a website in the world, but if that website's not going to convert, and I know my landing pages convert, that squeeze page, that so-called business, that converts really well for me. But if your landing page doesn't convert, you can send all of the traffic you want, all the SEO there in the world, and you're still not going to make money. So I'd rather send 1,000 visitors to my weight loss website in, in how long? 3 days for 8 cents a click. I mean, why wouldn't I do that? So that's just kind of an example of AdWords campaign there. But I wanted to kind of show you that. So with that said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually open up the floor to your questions, your traffic and list building questions, because I know that, I didn't talk too long on information there, but I'm sure there's a lot of questions that came about and a lot of things that maybe you learned or you want to clarify. So I'll just start going through these questions now, Brian, and if you see any of that kind of come to mind, just let me know.
I want to get this question out of the way. A few people have asked, what if somebody back in 2007, they were brand new and they made tons of mistakes with AdWords and, didn't optimize their squeeze pages, broke every rule possible, and lost their account? Are those people out of luck forever?
No, they're not out of luck forever. I mean, it's unfortunate that happened, but now that Google has that new AdWords phone number that I talked about earlier, Brian, you can give them a call. So what I would do is I would suggest going into that AdWords account, deleting all of your campaigns, and just closing it down. You can actually close down your AdWords campaign. Then what I would do is I'd open up a new ad campaign, start entirely with brand new URLs, and set up your campaigns and put it on pause. And then Google will send you an email within 24 hours with a phone number you can reach those people on. And I would actually just pick up the phone and call them. And they're very reasonable. I talked to this guy 2 days ago, I said, and I asked him about that, and he's like, we will review it. We'll look over these campaigns. So especially if you open up a campaign, you tell them, look, I made mistakes. I didn't realize I was making mistakes, but I've invested in training now. I know what I'm doing. You show them that you built out a good AdWords campaign that's not sketchy. It's following all of the rules, then they'll likely approve you. But you need to go through that process of shutting down your campaign, your old account, opening up a new account, and then calling them and making sure you're really open and honest with them.
What kind of keyword lists are you building for each of the niches that you're in? What size keywords, and how are you getting these keywords?
Okay, sure. So a lot of people think that you need to invest in really expensive training tools in order to find keywords, but I think that's all kind of BS. I don't really believe in a lot of tools for ad campaigns other than AdWords free tool, which is Google AdWords Editor, which I highly suggest you use. That's what I use to build all of my campaigns. That's what I'm going to use to build my ad campaign on Sunday. And you can honestly build an ad campaign in like 30 to 60 minutes, depending on how big it is. It's so much quicker than the ad interface. Within Google AdWords Editor, they actually have a keyword tool that I use. And you simply, so let's say that you're starting in the soap niche, okay? So you're starting in the soap niche. I would open up that tool and I'd start with, I'd enter in the keyword soap, learn to make soap, or something along those lines, and then it would generate all these other keywords about learn to make soap that had that keyword phrase in it. And I would just kind of continue to do that, continue entering keyword ideas, and then I would group them together. So for the Google Display Network, which is what I suggest you use, you're going to want to group your keywords, about 5 to 15 keywords in each ad group. And then you're going to want to have about 8 banner ads for that. So there's a free tool called the Google Display Ad Builder. You can build your image ads on there. Pretty easy to use, very easy to use. Again, that's what I'm going to be using to build my banner ads on Sunday. And that will build your banner ads, and that's how you can group together your Google Display Network. Pretty straightforward. For the search network, I put one keyword in an ad group. And for those of you who don't know what an ad group is, it's essentially you have your campaign, and then below it, you've got multiple ad groups. So you might have an ad group on weight loss for pregnant people, or weight loss for beer guts. So they're just slightly different. You want to really target advancedly. And then you'd have 2 ads for every keyword. So that's kind of a top level explanation. Hopefully that helped a little bit. And
Absolutely.
feel feel free to clarify, because that's what I'm here for. I want to try to make sure you're getting the information you need in order to start driving serious traffic to your websites.
So, Merv just asked a question. He's not really getting it, and he said, how exactly were you able to get those 8-cent weight loss ads? And it's through the display network, Merv, not through the text messages. Through the text links. It's from the display network where you display banner advertisements, and you can pick your keywords the same way that you do in the text, but you're using banner ads. A couple of people asked about your, specifically, this is kind of more of a personal question for you, but the $77 weight loss campaign that you showed that you got 498 clicks from, they're asking, what was your return on investment with that $77, and also at what point do you say, I'm going to stop this campaign?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So I actually I launched the campaign on the 25th. So this is a brand new campaign, but I've already added 400 people onto my mailing list. So I've had a really, really big conversion rate. I was using one other traffic source at the same time, so about 200 of those people were actually from AdWords. I would have to look at my conversion data, but I think it was like 213 people opted in from AdWords from those clicks. I had a total, including the 25th, I had a total of like 1,400 clicks or something like that. So around a 15% conversion rate to opt-in. And from that, I'm sending out my first promo, my first email offer, so my first affiliate link or an offer for my own product actually tomorrow. So I haven't actually made any money on that yet, but I expect that I'll make at least $300 tomorrow. So I'll make my return on investment, and then the 5th day I'll send out another promo, and then I'll be in the profit zone. And then day 6, 7, and 8, I'm sending them free content. Day 8 and 9, I'm sending them paid offers as well. So this is a brand new campaign, but the fact that I've already added 400 people onto my mailing list, 215 about are from AdWords, is huge. Again, that's an asset. And in the weight loss industry, every name is worth significantly more than a name on the soap soap list, for example. It's like internet marketing. It's a very, very competitive niche. So that mailing list is worth a lot more than another niche.
Yeah, I hope you guys wrote that down, because she just gave you the recipe for success right there. A couple of questions about CPM versus pay-per-click. CPM meaning cost per 1,000 views as opposed to cost per every time somebody clicks on your ad. Do you ever dabble in CPM?
Sure. So just to clarify, technically CPM is still part of it goes under the umbrella of PPC. So you can use CPM in AdWords, right? And you can use it in Facebook as well. So sometimes I use CPM in Facebook advertising, but I primarily use cost per click. Cost per click for me is just always the most reliable in terms of getting a good return on my investment. And then I can go in and I can bid 20 cents max cost per click or 10 cents max cost per click. And I'm just very accountable for my return on investment. There's certain situations and very advanced circumstances that you might want to use CPM after you've really optimized your ad campaign. But to start out, CPC is all you're going to need, and that's all I use to get my 8-cent clicks in that weight loss niche and in the last 3 days in AdWords.
Do you use other pay-per-click networks, the second and third tier networks that generate a lot less traffic, or do you stick primarily with Facebook and AdWords?
Yeah, I do use other third-tier networks. It depends, because I always start with AdWords, Facebook, and media buys, because there's just so much traffic there. Unless you're literally spending thousands a day, there's no real reason to go to the second-tier networks, especially when you can get traffic for as little as 8 cents, as little as a few pennies. Remember, this is 8 cents in the weight loss niche, which is one of the most expensive niches out there. So most of my other clicks are quite a lot below 8 cents, between 1 cent and 8 cents in my other campaigns. So weight loss is a very expensive niche. But if you're getting traffic that low, there's no real need to go to the second tier networks. Yeah, you can get cheap clicks there, but they're not always as high quality traffic. So I usually start with AdWords, then I'll move into media buys, then Facebook, and then I'll move into tier 2 networks like 7Search or LookSmart. So that's a great question.
When you're setting up the display network, one thing that people need to understand is they do review all of the banners that you upload, because they don't want you, uploading some porn banner or something like that, or something that, says F you, or, some off kilter language. So there is, what's it usually take, about a day or two to get your banner ads approved?
In getting approved, yeah, it's about 24 to 48 hours for banner ads. For text ads, it's quite a lot faster. It's under 24 hours, often under 12 hours. And I find even with display ad, so if you're uploading display ads, if you've been approved manually, a number of times, your approval time gets a lot quicker because you've got a little bit of trust with them or a little bit of credit. So 24 to 48 hours for a new thing.
Yeah, when I was spending a lot of money with AdWords during my massive campaign that I did a couple of years back, getting text ads approved was just minutes. I mean, it would go so quickly to where I don't even think anybody was actually looking at it. I think it was just they're approving me, and then they'll look at it later, because we built up the trust factor, or because I was spending so much money, whatever the reason. Wes wants to know, when you set up your display network ads, do you pick the sites to show your ads on, or do you let Google choose?
Great question. I generally start with an automatic campaign. So what that means is I let Google pick the sites first, and then based on my keywords, and then I'll let that run for a week, and then I'll optimize it, a week later, and then I'll run the ad campaign on specific sites based on my conversion data from that earlier campaign. And if this is going over your head, feel free to clarify. I mean, this is basically the strategy that I'm going to be using, on Sunday when I'm doing that webinar, and then on the next Sunday when I'm, sorry, I should have clarified. I'm actually building out these ad campaigns in front of a live audience on Sunday, but I'm actually going to be going through that process and showing you how to use an automatic campaign and a placement campaign. But that's generally the strategy that I would do. So let's just use my timeline, for example. On Sunday, I'll create an automatic campaign. So what that means is I'll let Google decide where my ads are going. Then the following Sunday, what I'll actually do is I'll run a report. I'll see what traffic sources are converting really well, and then I'll actually select which traffic sources I want my ads to show up on. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's see here. Trying to scroll through these, and when you run Facebook ads, are you sending them to a landing page, or are you sending them? Are you asking them to like your fan page?
Great question. I actually send traffic using Facebook to a fan page. I don't send it to an outside page. Sometimes I do, like if I'm running a last-minute webinar, maybe I'll do that. But generally speaking, I'll send it to a fan page, and I'll get them to opt in on my fan page, and then I will send that traffic again to sales pages and webinars and stuff. With Facebook advertising, you often get a lot cheaper clicks sending traffic to a fan page, so that's a great question.
What do you say to people that are not webmasters and they want to create squeeze page after squeeze page? Can you recommend a template for them or an outsourcer?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have full-time assistants who are doing all of that for me, but I mean, there's a few programs out there that do it. Just Google on squeeze page systems. I mean, I've got a few templates that I sell that I'll give information on towards the end of the call in terms of providing templates for AdWords and for Facebook advertising. And I know that I see a few people are saying I'm talking a little too fast, and I get really excited about this stuff. So I'll try to slow it down a little bit. But yeah, I just want to make sure I answer as many questions as possible within the time period that we have, because I can't believe we've already been on the call for an hour. But this is being recorded too.
Hey, have you ever dabbled with video displays in the display network?
Yeah, definitely. YouTube promoted videos are an awesome traffic source. I mean, again, literally, that's where one of the traffic sources that you would get under the 10-cent click range, and a ton of volume. I mean, if you think about it, YouTube is actually, I believe it's the second largest search engine in the world right now. So again, on Sunday, I will be building like that automatic campaign, Brian. I'll be building a content network campaign as well as a YouTube campaign, and you'll see that the YouTube campaign is actually got a lot cheaper clicks. So it's very, very cool.
Awesome, awesome. Guys, if you've got questions about what we've been talking about here tonight, now is the time to get them in. This is a rare opportunity to, just drill the brain of a Google expert. Not literally, but let's see. What site or sites do you recommend for beginners starting out with media buys, excluding Google's display network?
Okay, so what sites? I would suggest Google Ad Planner. check out the Google Ad Planner. That's a really good tool for helping you gauge media buys. Media buys are great through the Google Ad Planner, so I'd suggest that, Sam. It's a great question.
All right. Someone's asking, how do you force an ad to appear on a specific YouTube video?
There's actually a tool that you can use within the YouTube promoted video section to actually search for specific videos. So you can actually select a very specific video on YouTube, or you can run it across the entire network. So if you just go into YouTube, I believe it's under the search YouTube promoted videos, and a tool will actually come up to help you with that. So that's a really, really great question. And I know I'm getting a lot of questions about the campaign that I'm building for the profit that I'm going to make $10,000 over 30 days. So people are asking where they can watch about that, and I'll share some information on that in just a little bit. But I want to answer at least maybe two more questions or three more questions, Brian, because I know that there's a ton of questions coming through.
Yeah, let me find some. Jamie's asking, which do you find better as far as in terms of cost and conversion, AdWords or Facebook ads, and which can be more profitable over the long run?
Good, very good question. I mean, they both have their place. You're going to get great conversions and great traffic from both sources, but I mean, and I honestly would say that if you can get AdWords to work for you, AdWords is a more reliable traffic source. The thing with Facebook advertising, it's much more labor intensive. You have to constantly be uploading new ads, because what happens is there's only a certain number of users on Facebook. So after your ad's been shown to those users enough times and they stop clicking on that ad, Facebook starts losing money and they don't want to show your ad anymore. So it's a very labor-intensive ad network, so you have to really be on top of your game with Facebook. With AdWords Display Network, it's not so much like that. I find that, again, like if you can get those 10 cents, under 10 cent traffic clicks on AdWords, that traffic source always makes more sense, and it's a lot more targeted. Their reporting makes more sense, and their conversion tracking is very, very good.
Here's a good question. With Google AdWords, the regular Google AdWords that show up on the search listings, where do you want to be? Do you want to be in that top position? Do you want to be in the third position on the right? Where do you prefer to have your ads appear? I'll tell you my answer from when I was spending $1,000 a day, but go ahead with yours.
Sure. I mean, when you're starting your ad campaign, you want to try to get in that first position. So typically speaking, and I'll give you an example here. On Google.com. So on Google, so this first position up top here, weight loss Toronto, lose weight with injections and lasers. That sounds scary. This first position here actually gets the most clicks. So most people click through on this. You saw that I just clicked through on it because it was the first ad. And so the more people that actually click through on this ad, the higher click-through rate is, and as a result of that, the lower your cost per click is going to be, because Google rewards you for having very relevant ads. And so what will happen is you'll actually start bidding less money to get the higher positions. And then from that, what I would say is you'll reduce your bid about a week later, and then position 4 and 5 are very, very cost effective.
I'll tell you my take on this. If you want the most amount of traffic and make the most amount of money in your niche, then that number one position is definitely where you want to be. However, I will say the cost per visitor, I was making more money in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th positions. However, I would make, let's say I was making more money per visitor, but I was getting much less visitors. So in order to make the big bucks, I had to be in that top position so that I was getting monstrous traffic for my keywords. And even though the cost per visitor was lower, the volume was much higher. So would you rather make $3 a few times a day, or $1 a bunch of times a day? And that's the difference right there. Somebody asked a question about offline businesses and whether they can target local prospects with AdWords and Facebook.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a great thing about Facebook advertising and AdWords advertising is you can actually target very specific areas. So you can see right here, it says weight loss Toronto. I'm in Toronto right now. Obviously, this ad is targeted to Toronto. It's specifically mentioning me. If you Google this right now, weight loss on Google, this ad probably wouldn't show up for you because it's a Toronto ad. So you absolutely can use it for offline businesses. In fact, it works really well for offline businesses, especially when you can get that cheap traffic in your local area. I mean, it's killer. Get them into your store and close them on, whatever business you have. It is a very good traffic source. You can even show them on the map right here. You can use AdWords and Facebook for any type of product or offline store. I mean, whether it's a digital product or a physical product or a software, it doesn't matter because for me, it's all about building that mailing list and selling them what you have to sell through that mailing list. And always add value. That's very important.
Here's a great question, and I know you want to wrap this up real soon, but a couple more questions would be awesome. Here's a great question. If you do a search on Google and there are 0 ads appearing, is that a good keyword to target?
Honestly, I would say no. It freaks me out a little bit
Exactly.
when there's no competition on that keyword because you've got to ask yourself, why isn't there any competition on that keyword? And so I tend to stay away from that quite a lot. I like a little bit of competition. A little bit of competition is a good thing. It means there's money to be made in that market. So just keep that in mind when you're building out your ad campaigns.
Yeah, like if you, for example, if you type in free stuff in Google, you'll see that maybe there's 4 or 5 people advertising, but you don't have that long list of advertisers on the right-hand side. And this is a keyword that gets searched, 1 million times a day, free stuff. So why aren't these people advertising? Well, obviously, it's not converting for many people.
Yeah.
Think of the topic right there, free stuff. The people that are searching for that aren't looking to pay for stuff. They're looking for free stuff. So how do you monetize people that are specifically searching for free stuff? It's much easier to monetize somebody that has a credit card in hand.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You don't want people who are searching for free stuff on your mailing list. I mean, there's a difference between people who are looking for free things and people who are going to buy, and that all comes down to targeting as well. So that's a very good point. I mean, you definitely want to watch out for your competition. You don't want to go in too much of a competitive niche to start out, but a little bit of healthy competition is definitely a good thing. Like I said, it shows there's money there.
In your squeeze pages that you created specifically for your AdWords campaigns, how you had the blog posts below it, are you loading those up with high keyword density?
No, I'm not. Well, actually, to a degree, I worry about that. So I'll put in for soap making, for example, I'll make sure that there's a lot of soap making keywords within there. But naturally, because of the content of the blog post, there are going to be soap making keywords in there. But I'm not worried about SEO whatsoever. That's not the point of this blog. The point of this blog is to be in Google's good graces, get that ridiculously cheap traffic, and just make as much money as I possibly can with it, doing as little work. So I'm not worried about SEO at all on that. So don't go out of your way with that. Just make sure that the blog posts are very good. They're quality content. They're actually useful. That goes a long way.
For those blog posts, can you use like high quality PLR? Does it matter that maybe that article is somewhere else on the web too?
Yeah, you can, but I would suggest that you wrote your unique content for a number of reasons because it's all about, for me, I'm all about creating a good user experience. When someone becomes a customer of mine, whether they're a free customer or a paid customer, I want to make sure that they're having a good experience with me. So I'm giving them a lot of great value. Whether it's when they're visiting my website, I want to make sure that all the content I'm giving them is they're saying, wow, what a great experience. And then when they buy a product from me, I want them to say the same thing. Wow, what a great experience. I got, 10 times my money for this investment. So that they're happy and they'll make me a testimonial or they'll come back again. And that starts from the very beginning on your website, that whole process. That's your first impression. So that's why you want to provide really quality content on there. And I would suggest just writing your own articles, doing your own research. Take that extra few hours it's going to take to write 10 blog posts. Trust me, it will pay off in the long run.
Birttany, this has been awesome. We've spent a good solid hour, and you talk fast, so you get a lot of information in here. So this has been absolutely fantastic. Let's see what other fantastic stuff you have in store for us tonight.
Sure, yeah, for sure. So, I had a number of questions come through while I was on the webinar about, how are you going to actually make $10,000 in 30 days profit using AdWords? So, what I'm going to do is I actually already planned on doing this fun experiment while I was gone. I just wanted to make $10,000 in profit while I was traveling for myself, and I thought, I haven't released an AdWords product in quite some quite a while. The last time I released an AdWords product was $2,000, so obviously a lot of people couldn't take advantage of that. So for this AdWords, when I'm building this AdWords campaign, what I decided to do was open up a few spaces for people who are really serious about getting traffic to their website. They're ready to start sending traffic to their websites. I decided to allow them to watch me build out my ad campaign. So this Sunday, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hold a webinar, Brian, and I'm actually everything I do, from building my landing page, my squeeze page, to building my ad campaign, everyone's going to see. And they're not everyone, I should say. The people who get in on this, there's only a few spots because I want to make it really personal, are actually going to see everything that I'm doing. They're going to be able to ask questions while I'm doing it. But like I said, it's not for everyone. I don't want to take too many people because I want to make sure that everyone who has questions can ask them. And that I only want people who are going to actually take action on what I do. There's a lot of times people buy products and they don't take action on them. And I want people to really be successful with this training course and actually follow through on my advice, because it's important that if you're going to do an ad campaign, that you follow through on my advice so that you do get those 5-cent clicks, those 8-cent clicks. As you saw, I had 1,000 clicks in the AdWords for weight loss for only 8 cents each. That's what I'm looking for. That's kind of my requirements for people who are interested in this sort of thing. But what you're actually going to get is you're actually going to watch me as I build out my AdWords campaign live in front of your eyes. And every single little thing that I do is actually going to be filmed on webcam. So I'm going to be 100% accountable for what I'm doing. I'm going to prove to you that I'm going to make $10,000 in that 30 days in profit, because everything I do is going to be live on camera. There's no hiding around. It's not like buying an ebook and only getting half of the story, or getting videos and only getting half the story. You're literally watching me do this entire thing so that you can go and replicate it and make $10,000 yourself. And I'm going to show you how to use AdWords in any niche while getting traffic for pennies. And I really do mean any niche, internet marketing, weight loss, whatever. And you'll watch me as I build a mailing list of a minimum 500 people in the next 2 weeks, and then profit from there. And you'll see that I'll make that $10,000 in that 30 days while I'm on vacation. And build my mailing list, which is a long-term asset. If you're looking to quit your job, you need that mailing list, and that's what I'm going to be focused on. So that's really cool. And what you're actually going to get is you're going to get 3 webinars, just because I'm going to take 3 times to optimize this campaign and build it out. So you're going to be, again, watching me do everything. Webinar 1, you're going to watch me as I set up my landing page. So that soap making website that I showed you, you're actually going to get the template for that. I'm going to give everyone the template, and I'm going to actually, at the beginning of the call, I'm going to show you how to customize and add your content so it's complete beginner friendly. Whether you're a complete newbie or you already know a little bit about internet marketing, or you're just looking for the traffic generation, I'm going to start from the very beginning, add that, create my landing page for my brand new niche that I've never been in before, and you're going to watch me set that up in front of your eyes. You're going to watch me build out a search campaign, so that's when you're searching for keywords, as well as a content campaign. So I'm going to show you how to do that YouTube campaign, how to get those really, really cheap clicks, those 3-cent clicks, those 8-cent clicks. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to use AdWords Editor to cut down time and build the campaign in a minute. So I'm going to be building this campaign in AdWords Editor, as well as the interface. But because AdWords Editor is that much quicker, you're going to make a lot more money using AdWords Editor because it's a lot less time. And I know everyone here has lives, and you don't want to be spending forever building ad campaigns. It's a lifesaver, that AdWords Editor. I can't believe people who don't know what AdWords Editor is, or they don't use it for AdWords. And I'm going to show you how to use and install conversion tracking, so you can actually figure out what websites and what keywords are sending you opt-ins, are helping you build your mailing list, so that later we can get even cheaper cost per click. Remember, I'm getting 8-cent traffic right now on a campaign I haven't even optimized. This is just stuff I built 3 days ago on the 25th. Webinar 2, so that's going to be a week later. And each of these webinars is recorded, by the way, if you can't make it live, but I am doing it on a Sunday so that hopefully most people can get it, and it's this Sunday. So webinar 2 is you're going to want to optimize your ad campaign to reduce cost per click and increase your profit. So that's what webinar number 2 is about. It's all about optimizing your campaign. And again, I'm doing this all in front of your eyes. Nothing I do is going to be off camera. And you're going to see this is where you're going to start seeing my mailing list grow in size live. We're going to check in with my mailing list, see how many subscribers I have, and start to see how much profit I've started to make. And then I'm going to show you how to increase profits even further by using a placement campaign. And if you don't know what these words are, don't worry, because I'm going to show you. I'm going to talk you through this. Every single thing is going to be step by step. You're going to be able to ask me questions along the way specific to your campaigns, because the whole idea is I'm showing you what I'm doing so that you can, after the webinar, actually replicate what I'm doing so that you're making $10,000 in the next 30 days as well. There's no reason why you can't do that. And then webinar 3 will be 2 weeks later. It's when we actually check in and we recap. So at the end of that 30 days, I want to make sure that I've made my profit, I've grown my list, and I've made that $10,000. Webinar 2, you'll start to see a profit, you'll start to see a list size. Webinar 3 is we're checking in and we're recapping. We're doing Q&A, making sure that you're making that money as well. You're making that $10,000 or even $2,000 profit. I'm sure a lot of you would be happy with. But making sure that you're making a profit, because if you can figure out how to make a profit with AdWords, which is what I'm going to be showing you how to do, all of a sudden you have a really scalable business, a business that you can rely on. So that's that. You get all of that with the AdWords looking is what I'm calling it. And I do have a 30-day guarantee. I guarantee you that if you follow everything that I'm showing you, that you will make a profit within that 30 days. I guarantee it. And you're able to get access to this at webinarswaps.com/traffic. I'm keeping the group size small. Like I said, it starts Sunday, so you kind of have to act now if you want to get in on this. I'm going to pull the sales page down soon because, like I said, I don't want too big of a group. I want it really intimate so that I can work individually with everyone as well, as I know you'll have a lot of questions, and I want to make sure I can work with you on those during the webinar. And for those that are really interested, there's a fast action bonus that I've put together. What I've decided to do is for the first 10 people to purchase, you'll also get a half-hour coaching call with me. I don't sell these publicly anymore, but if I did, I charge $1,000 an hour. So just keep that in mind. It's for the first 10 people who purchase. You also get that half-hour coaching call with me. And I mean, that's really invaluable in terms of what do you want to get out of it. The reason why I'm offering that as a bonus is because I want to work closely with these 10 people to ensure that you're going to start making an income of $10,000 profit every month. And I truly believe that if I do that coaching with you too, that you're gonna make that $10,000 a lot quicker. I believe that everyone who watches these webinars, because they're live and you're seeing everything that I do step by step, is able to do that. But the people that act quick, I think, are just going to do it a little bit quicker. And I'll also do a personal review for your AdWords campaign before it goes live. And so this, I mean, it practically guarantees success because I'm actually going to be reviewing your AdWords campaign to, make sure you're not doing anything silly, make sure you're not going to do anything that's going to cause a lot of trauma in your life. I want to make it easier on you making money. So that's just what I'm up to. You're able to get that at webinarswaps.com/traffic. So that's what I put together is that, basically follow me while I make $10,000 in profit over the next 30 days. I'm going to be doing that while I'm on vacation. Part of it is I'll send you cool little videos of me on vacation, just showing you day by day how much money I'm making while I'm just hanging out, on the beach, traveling, that sort of thing. Because, I mean, that's a lifestyle that I like to live, and hopefully that's a lifestyle you want to live too. So check that out, webinarswaps.com/traffic.
I gotta say, first off, I love case studies. I've done a couple of them myself, and anytime somebody puts their rep on the line and is ballsy enough to do something live, I think it's awesome. So I just bought it myself. So hopefully I'm in the first 10. Because
that's awesome.
Paid traffic with me is something that I've never been able to get a figure on. Free traffic, product creation, all that good stuff, no problem. Paid traffic,
yeah.
Never been able to wrap my head around it. So any kind of live training that's like a case study stuff is awesome. Those things are incredible. So I bought it myself. I'll see you in there.
That's awesome. Well, I'm happy to have you on board. It'll be a lot of fun because, like I said, it's not going to be a big group. It's just going to be a smaller size group. We're going to work together. I put it as an early bird special of $197. So, like I said, the last AdWords product that I sold was $2,000. It wasn't even live. This is all live, okay? Like, I can't do anything. I can't, lie. I can't do fake screenshots. This is right in front of your eyes. There's really no two ways about it there. So, I mean, I'm going to make that $10,000 in the next 30 days. Whether you want to watch me make $10,000 in profit in the next 30 days while I'm on vacation is up to you, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
I mean, I don't think I don't know how often people realize this kind of stuff gets offered. If you go through pretty much anything or anywhere that you've ever bought, that you've ever seen, sold, you might see a 1 or 2% of people who actually have the balls to do it live. Because a lot of stuff that you hear or a lot of stuff you see taught or a lot of stuff that's in books can very easily be a bunch of theory that somebody else has heard somewhere else and get, kind of give it their own twist and all this other stuff. But if you got the nuts to do something live in front of people and then claim you're going to make a certain amount, I'm not saying you personally, but I'm saying just live case studies in general, because I've done some myself, to claim that you're going to do it live, it's the best training you will ever get, because there is no hiding. There is no going on behind the scenes. There is no, oh, yeah, by the way, I did this, but I didn't put it on video. Those kind of things. Case studies rock. I think it's the best training you can get.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's learn by example, right? I mean, it's just like when you're younger, when your parents are teaching you how to tie your shoes. They didn't give you an ebook on how to tie your shoes. They actually showed you, and you learn a lot quicker that way, given you probably couldn't read when you were younger. But, I mean, absolutely.
Can't read now.
Yeah, well, it's all going to be visually based.
I'm just kidding. And they tell you something. It's just different. It's just a different way of learning. I mean, it's a different way of learning something, to where it's not like you read it, and then you go and try it. It's people. A lot of people are visual. It's like okay, I can try to understand it, but when you can watch somebody do it, and then you can go back and look and go, okay, they did this here and they did that there, so I need to do this and I need to do that. It's totally different than
the beautiful part about this is that you actually get to watch it live as it's happening, and you can go back and watch the archives of it, and you can pause it, you can do whatever you need to do to catch up and do exactly what Birttany is doing. And you're going to see the money that Birttany's making. Hey, if you're a skeptic and you want to wait till the end to see, well, let's see if she really makes the money before I do any of the steps. Or you can do it alongside with her. Watch the video, go back and watch the replay. The very next day you can get started on it. Or, if you want to wait and see what her results are and then be, wow, she made $11,000. Or, you know what? What if she fails and makes only $9,000? Oh, does that mean you're not going to do it? Come on. I mean, you have the videos that you can go back and do exactly what Birttany did right in front of your eyes. You have it on tape that you can pause, rewind, go fast forward, whatever you need to do to absolutely duplicate what she's doing. And very, very rarely do you see courses or ebooks or anything that shows you exactly what to do. I often wonder to myself, these $2,000 courses that come out, I often think to myself, well, hey, if you put this much effort into showing how easy this is, why didn't you just do it? And if you could show me that you made $10,000, right in front of my eyes, I'd gladly pay you $2,000 to learn how to make $10,000. So for Birttany to say, give me $200, $197, and I'll show you how to make $10,000 right before your very eyes, it's a no-brainer. Without question.
People, literally, if you look at all the marketers out there, people don't have the balls to do that. It's very, very rare that somebody will actually step up to the plate and actually say, you know what, we'll put all the BS aside, I'll do it right in front of your face. And then there's no questions, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Here's what I did, here's how it worked, here's how it goes, here's what you do, and bang, here it is. And you don't see that. So anytime, I've always told people who are on my list and whatnot, the moment you see somebody going to do a case study, jump on it, because you will not find any better coaching than that.
Yeah.
And keeping in mind, so the first webinar is going to be this Sunday. The optimization webinar, which is webinar 2, will be the next Sunday. And then from there, you'll have everything you need to know. You'll have built out your ad campaign. You'll have optimized it. But there's still going to be a third webinar for Q&A and for following up and holding me accountable to make sure that I've actually made the money that I said I was going to make. And I'll be sending you those cool videos while I'm actually traveling on my vacation and showing you what I'm doing. And there's going to be you'll be able to email me with questions and all of that business too. So it's 100% live, and the way you guys talk about it, I mean, it's true. I haven't seen anyone do anything like this. So I'm excited about it. I know that I can do it. So I hope that you join me with this AdWords Look-In, as I'm calling it, to check it out, because it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's really cool stuff to see the students on these AdWords Look-Ins that I've done in the past make serious cash.
Yeah. Look, webinarswamps.com/traffic is how to get in on this, and I see a lot of people have already gotten in on it, and those are the people that are serious. Listen, if you're serious about making money on the internet, and you've been buying ebooks, you've been buying courses, you've been buying video courses, and just it's not working for you. Or maybe it's working a little bit for you. Or maybe it's working a lot for you, and you're looking to really, take the next step into your career. No matter where you're at, watching somebody make $10,000 in front of your very eyes will make a very, very big difference in your life. Because Birttany can do this over and over and over again, and once you learn it, you can do it over and over and over again. So what's it really worth to learn how to make $10,000 over and over and over again? Is it worth $10,000? Absolutely. Is it worth $20,000? Absolutely. I mean,
even if she doesn't make $10,000, if she just turns a flat profit, I don't care if it's $200. AdWords is scalable, in many different ways, and it's the one thing that I've never been able to wrap my head around. And whether it's 10 grand, 5 grand, $1,000, $200, if she makes a profit, it was worth it to me.
But I will tell you that I'm very confident that she will hit the $10,000 mark.
I have no doubt she'll probably make over $200.
And I say this because I've seen her do it. And I haven't just seen her do it once. I've seen her do it time and time again. This is the real deal. Birttany Lynch makes tens of thousands of dollars doing exactly what she's going to do in front of your very eyes starting Sunday. And if you can't make it, no big deal, because the replays are just as good as being there live, except you can pause them to go take a pee break if you have to. So they're actually better than replays. That's why we all have DVRs now.
Well, but I tell you what, Birttany, you mentioned skydiving. Do me a favor, don't be jumping out of any perfectly good airplanes for the next month until this is over.
Yeah, someone asked on here if I had went skydiving, and I lived. I had emailed my mailing list. They're like, did you live through your skydiving? And I did.
Well, good. That's why you're here. This is live. Yul Brynner once did a commercial. I remember when I was a kid, and he said, "If you're seeing this commercial, it means I'm dead." Like, wow. So Birttany's very much alive, and she will be very much live on Sunday for the for the training session, where you can look over her shoulder as she makes a $10,000 profit from an AdWords campaign that you can duplicate again and again and again. And believe me, you do that one time, you duplicate it one time, and you're going to email Birttany and say, I feel terrible that I only paid $197 to learn how to make $10,000 over and over and over again. And you're going to want to tip her an extra $500 or $1,000. Believe me, it's like when you're at the craps table and it's your turn to roll, and you roll, for 45 minutes, but you really didn't know what you were doing, so you didn't make too much, but the guy across the table made $20,000 and a couple of black chips and says, "Thanks, buddy." That's going to be you flipping the black chips to Birttany.
I got an email actually yesterday from someone who has done AdWords training with me before, and he emailed me, and he asked me to keep the testimonial private, so I'm just going to kind of skim over the highlights here. But he asked me to keep it private. I'm actually really not sure why, but he told me that June and July, in June he made $20,000, July he made $20,000, and he expects by December to make $100,000 every month. Whether or not he hits that goal or not, he's making $20,000 consistently from my training, which I think is really awesome. And that wasn't even live training, that was all recorded training. So that's really cool. And like I said, for the first 10 people who purchase, I'm going to do that half-hour coaching call with them. For everyone else who doesn't get that first 10, believe me, whenever ever done Q&A before or done webinars before, I make sure absolutely everyone gets one-on-one time. And I'll just kind of give you an example of Rob, who's done, he got a half-hour coaching call with me.
Hi, I'm Rob Mattress from Cambridge, Ontario, www.thesilentseller.com. If you get an opportunity for a coaching call on internet marketing or PPC advertising with Birttany Lynch, don't hesitate for a minute. I was prepared for my call with Birttany, and she was able to answer all of my questions in rapid staccato fire style. This girl knows what she's talking about and should be worth your time and your money. Take the chance.
He actually happens to be from Canada as well. But he was really kind. This guy did some training with me, and he's just so nice. He's always literally every time I do a webinar, he's making me a new testimonial video, being like, "This works for me." I mean, I made you a testimonial video. I don't even ask him; he makes it for me, which I think is pretty cool. So I'll just recap everything that you're getting when you purchase at webinarswaps.com/traffic. So what you're going to be doing again, you're going to be watching me as I build a profitable AdWords campaign live in front of your eyes. And again, my goal is $10,000 profit by the time my vacation's done. Okay, over the next 30 days, I'm going to make that $10,000 profit. I'm very confident I can do it because I've done it before. I'm going to show you exactly how to use AdWords in any niche while getting traffic for pennies. And you saw earlier I got, 954 clicks for, on average, 8 cents per click in the weight loss niche. You'll watch me as I build a mailing list of minimum 500 people in the next 2 weeks and profit. Again, that's a minimum. For me, the main goal is how much money I'm making, but I really believe that 500 people in the next 2 weeks is a good goal for my mailing list. There's going to be 3 webinars. The first webinar, you're going to watch me as I set up my landing page. I'm going to give you my landing page template. So everything's done in front of your eyes. I know in the past people have said, oh, well, I don't have a squeeze page, or I don't know how to set it up. I'm going to go through it all with you. And I'm going to send you an email, of anything you need to do to prepare, but it's really not much. I'm going to show you how to build out a search and a display campaign. So I'm going to show you how to get those really, really cheap clicks. I'm going to show you how to use AdWords Editor to cut time and build a campaign in minutes. And I do mean that in minutes. I mean, like, there's some really cool features in AdWords Editor, like you can literally copy campaigns and then edit the ads, or copy the campaign, keep the ads, and edit the keywords. I mean, it's a really, really cool tool, and no one uses it. And I'm going to show you how to install conversion tracking and monitor that reporting. And this is a Foundations webinar, okay? So this is where you're actually going to be watching me, make the campaign so that on the next webinar you can actually start to see results. So everything you need to do to get started is going to be in webinar 1, and webinar 2 is all about how do you optimize your campaign to reduce your cost per click and increase profits. You're going to see my mailing list starting to grow. So webinar 1, I'm going to have 0 people on my mailing list. Hopefully by webinar 2, I'm going to have around 250 people on my mailing list. You're going to see me increase my profits. But 7 days in, I will have wanted to have sold a few things by then. The big bulk of the profits is day 7 to 30. But I want to have made some money and some profit by day 7. I'm going to be increasing my profits by using placement campaigns. And again, I'm going to show you exactly what that is on the webinar, because everything I'm doing is in front of you, literally everything. So that's really cool. And this is the results webinar, the first of the results webinar. We're going to start looking at list size, and we're going to start looking at profits, and we're going to be doing the optimization. So these first 2 webinars are really, setting the groundwork and laying the foundation of your success over the next 30 days, okay? And then webinar 3 is going to be, that 30-day mark that you're going to make sure we're checking in, we're recapping on where I'm at, making sure I've hit my $10,000 goal. We're going to be doing Q&A. And all of that good stuff. And I just want to say, I want to make sure that everyone knows that I will be giving personal attention. So any questions that are asked, likely everyone else is thinking them too, but I'll be addressing you personally. So if you have questions specifically about your niche, then by all means ask me while on the call, and through email afterwards too. And the first 10 people to purchase will also get that, it's a half-hour coaching call with me. And plus a personal review of your AdWords campaign before it goes live. And like I said, this practically guarantees your success. I mean, I'm actually going to be reviewing your ad campaign, which is pretty cool. And
hey, Britt.
Go ahead.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Not that your offer isn't absolutely awesome to begin with. I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you, is it possible for you to record one of those personal reviews that you do of one of the customers' AdWords campaigns?
So you can
and
record
make
mine.
that recording. There you go.
You can record mine. I know I was in the first 10.
Brian Zimmerman's review, and make that available to everybody else?
Sure.
I think that'd be valuable. You take somebody that's going to be making some mistakes, and you pointing out what their mistakes are. I think that's a very valuable thing. If you could throw that in, I think that really, really increases, the already valuable package that you have here.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. So I was going to say, as long as someone will let me record it, but Brian, if you're game with that, then by all means, sure.
No problem.
Awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So, hey, one question about the training. Two questions actually that are coming up. First of all, not that it matters because it is all going to be recorded and available on demand. But what time are you doing this on Sunday?
I'm going to start likely in the mornings, probably 11 a.m., so that we can allow the Pacific Standard Time people to join us as well as the Europeans to join us. I'll work around. I'm going to send an email to everyone tomorrow and kind of just get a survey of where everyone's located to try to accommodate as many people as possible. Like I said, I'm pulling down the sales page really soon. I mean, it's on Sunday, but I'm going to pull down the sales page even sooner so that I know who's in the group with me, and I can just survey them to find out where they're located. So it's not decided yet, but likely 11 a.m. And like I said, it's all going to be recorded.
Awesome. And the other question that I'm getting is, about the squeeze page product that you're giving away. Your bait product. Are you going to be addressing that at all?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to give you the template, and I'm actually going to show you how to add your content. I mean, I'm setting it all up from scratch, right? So I'm actually I'll go buy my domain. I'll go, install WordPress, install the theme, add my blog posts in front of you so that you know exactly what to do. I mean, it's all completely step by step. So like I said, even if you're a complete newbie, I'm doing literally all of this from scratch. So, I mean, it really doesn't get that much more simple than that because it's all done in front of your eyes. So you get the landing page template, and I'll show you how to use it.
WebinarSwamps.com/traffic is the only way to get into this group that starts on Sunday. Birttany Lynch is going to be teaching you how to make $10,000. I mean, I've never, I've never described a product that, was so easy to sell. Birttany Lynch is going to be teaching you how to make $10,000 on Sunday. I mean,
live.
I don't know what more I can add to that to convince somebody. Yeah, live, over her shoulder. I don't know what more I can possibly add to that. If you're serious about making money on the internet, if you want to make $10,000 per campaign, then Birttany's going to show you how to do it. Your alternatives are go buy another ebook and hope that works. Go buy another video series and hope that works. But Birttany's going to show you it actually happening right in front of your face. So I can't add to that at all. Birttany's going to show you on Sunday how to make $10,000. Say that out loud. I want everybody here to say those words out loud. If I invest $197, then Birttany Lynch will show me how to make $10,000 again and again and again. Say that out loud, and then it feels really stupid not to take advantage of this.
Case studies, live case studies, you just don't see them. You don't see them done. Very, very, very rarely. I could think of, including myself, I could think of 3 people, Birttany will be number 3, that have actually done a live case study that I can remember. They are not done because the fear of failure ruins a reputation or whatnot. Yeah. And people will not put their rep on the line. They just don't have the balls to do it. So anytime I see something live, I'm in it. It doesn't matter. I love to watch that stuff.
I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, I just told you what I was going to do, and I'm doing it all live. I mean, if I don't do it, I'm going to look pretty stupid, and my reputation's not going to look very good. So I'm literally putting my reputation on the line. I'm putting everything on the line to do this because I'm that confident that I can do it. I know that I can do it. So, I mean, like, let's do it together. The whole thing that I'm going to be doing, everything I'm teaching you, you're going to be able to replicate yourself. So that's really cool. And a few people are asking about niche saturation. Don't worry about that. That's just all BS that, people tell you. It's just another reason that, you're not going to get started. The niche that I'm doing, I'd be surprised if any of you decided to do it as well. By all means, feel free to do it. But it's a very unique niche that I've selected that I'm going to share on the webinar. It's actually really cool because I'm going to be sharing a lot of really personal stories about my other businesses in my life right now, which no one else is getting access to, and it's just really cutting edge stuff that you're going to hear from me, one-on-one. You're going to be able to ask questions about. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and that's available at webinarswaps.com/traffic.
Yeah, guys, we're down to about the 3-minute warning. So if you have a question about any of the content that we talked about tonight, or the actual training course that's starting on Sunday, now is the time to get those questions in. So let me open up my little chat box right here. Hey, Mike just asked this question, and I'm going to give him my answer, and then I want you to give your professional answer. He says, what is the typical investment for the AdWords campaign that we will be doing? I just want to give you a little bit of experience that I had. When I started my online hearing aid company back in 2008, I started with a $30 a day AdWords budget and said that I was not going to put any more money into it other than a week's worth of $30 a day to see if there was potential in this. And within 2 weeks, I was spending $800 a day based on the just from the profits that I was making from my initial $30 a day spends. And Birttany, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, what did you say you started with?
I started with $30 a day.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing with AdWords, right? Is like you can start at a very low amount, and then you're reinvesting your profits, right? So you can scale up really quickly with that paid traffic. I mean, I tell people it'd be great if you could spend at minimum $10 a day, over the course of that 30 days. You'd even get by with $5 a day, but just remember, the lower your ad budget, the slower you are to get to that $10,000 mark, which might be okay with you as long as you're getting the fundamentals down. It'd be great if you could start with $10 a day. It'd be great if you could start with $30 a day. There's a range. You're still going to be able to get traffic, but remember, the more you spend every day, the more data you're going to get, the more clicks you're going to get, and the quicker you're going to be able to optimize. So I'd say ideally you're going to be spending $10 a day. If you have more, spend $20 a day. But it's all within what your range is. I mean, if you can't do more than $5 a day, then still join us for the training and start getting the fundamentals down. You can start getting that cheap traffic, and it'll just take you a little longer to optimize. So that's what I have to say about that. But Brian's absolutely right. It's all about reinvesting your profits. So you start with $10, and then maybe on day 7 you can start with $15 a day based on your profit and scale up from there.
Yeah, guys, less than 2 minutes are left to take advantage of this. And will there be any information about media buys? John wants to know.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking all about the display network, and essentially that is a media buy, which is what I talked about earlier. So we're going to be going over automatic campaigns, which again is an AdWords word, but it's when you're showing your ads all over the Google AdWords network, which is media buys across all of Google's millions of websites that are part of their network. But I'm also going to be showing you how to buy ad placements on specific websites as well. So I will be talking about media buys within the context of the Google AdWords network.
All right, just under a minute left, guys. Webinarswamps.com/traffic is how to learn how to make $10,000 this Sunday. This Sunday, you're going to learn.
Yeah,
What's that?
This Sunday. Phil's got a great question. Why create a WordPress theme when there's so many available already? That's a great question, Phil. And the answer is there are a lot of WordPress themes available, but there are 0 WordPress themes available for AdWords landing pages that aren't going to get you slapped. They're going to create you money. So the WordPress theme that I made is specifically designed for AdWords, specifically designed to make you money with AdWords. So that's why I'm using that. So keep that in mind. I mean, it's not just any WordPress theme. It's a WordPress theme that I customize myself that I'm using for very specific reasons, and that reason is more money in the bank.
Right. Awesome questions. Guys, everybody that attended here today, you guys were as much a part of this this training session as anybody else, and with your awesome questions. So I thank you so much for the awesome questions, and also, of course, Birttany, you just always give great stuff, and this is the free stuff that you got today. Sunday, you're going to learn how to make $10,000, and it's as simple as that. Not much more I can say about that. You're going to learn how to make $10,000 with Birttany Lynch by watching her doing it. You'll get the recordings. You can play them back at your leisure. You can go back to them anytime you want and duplicate exactly what she's doing. This isn't an ebook that you're going to be reading directions and trying to follow. It's not going to be something that you don't understand, because if you don't understand, you ask, and Birttany will explain it to you. That's the beauty of these live webinars. And if you can't make the first one live, you can ask your question in the second one live. And what type of email support do you have, or after-the-fact support? I know that obviously you can't be supporting questions for the next 20 years, but is there something lined up?
No, absolutely. I mean, I have a full-time assistant who uses AdWords and is very successful with AdWords herself. I've trained her myself. So both her and I will be answering questions through email every single day. We've got a system where every question that's emailed to me it's put on a spreadsheet. Within 24 hours, I answer it, often within 12 hours. So that's a system. Every question's going to be answered. I mean, whether that support's going to be available for the next 20 years, I'm not sure, but certainly as long as I'm in the internet marketing business, and as long as it keeps making me $40,000, $50,000 a month, I don't plan on leaving that business anytime soon. So yeah, absolutely, I've got ongoing support. I'm very genuine when I say that I really do want to see you make money. That's why I'm offering those personal coaching calls. I want, especially those 10 people, get them making money as quick as possible so they can create testimonials. And I'm going to send those testimonials to everyone else who's in the course so that remotivates them to be successful. Because whether or not you're one of the first 10 who purchased, you're going to make money with this course. And I want to see you have that success. And sometimes that means that you have more questions than other people, or maybe you've got less questions. So you can ask me on that webinar, or you can ask me through email. That's not a problem.